Well, howdy, folks. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another episode of Ask the CHOQTOR. I'm your CHOQTOR, Dr. Matt Dorsey, Doctor of Acupuncture, Chinese Medicine, CHOQ Chief Scientific Officer, Formulator, Urban Nutrition Geek, you name it. General student of the universe, physiology nerd, whatever you want to call me. Lots of different titles. How you guys doing today? It's always that awkward moment when I first tune in and the little indicator here is telling me there's only one or zero, perhaps maybe two people watching. It's always like, all right, well, do I just talk to no one? Always curious what to do in those situations, but I'll just start rambling like always and see what happens. Looks like we do have one question here from Ali, or Ollie perhaps. Ollie, hopefully you are still watching. Hi, Dr. Matt. Is it okay to take other supplements like calcium, magnesium, vitamin C, and D with CHOQ supplements? And well, in general, there are no reasons that you can't take any other supplement with our products for sure. But in order to be fully, legally compliant, I think I have to say, actually, you should always talk to your licensed healthcare practitioner to see what supplements are right for you and which combinations. But so that's my official statement. But specifically, though, I do have to say that there's no reason that I know of why an average healthy person could not combine any CHOQ supplement with really any other supplement. So really just totally up to you. Yeah. And your licensed medical provider. Wink, wink. Hello, Jenny. How goes it? Welcome. Thanks for being here. Hello, Gus. How are you guys doing today? Are you guys new? Or have you been on the show before and checked it out? Rafatul, I definitely know you. I believe you have won before. You've been one of our winners. For those of you guys who might be new, definitely stick around. We will be giving some prizes away in just a little bit here. So would hate for you to leave before you get a chance to become a winner. I'm channeling my inner game show host when I do this. Gus says, how do I win free CHOQ? So actually what I do is each one of these shows, which usually lasts about 30, 40 minutes, at some point during the show when I feel the time is right, not always the exact same time, but just whenever I feel the time is right, at some point, I will actually give away products. And I do that by actually random number generator. I do that just to make it totally fair. That way everybody theoretically, unless of course you believe in empathy, everybody theoretically has the same opportunity to win if I use a random number generator versus if I use some sort of trivia game. Certain people with certain knowledge might win every time, or people who are just really fast at looking stuff up on the internet might win if I do trivia. So I've decided not to do trivia. I did that once or twice and realized that might not be the fairest way. I want to give everybody the same equal, randomly determined chance at winning. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, Hunter? How goes it? How you guys doing? Yeah. I'm going to start actually randomizing the time at which I give the products out as well, or do the giveaways. That way people don't just tune in toward the end. So actually, we'll probably give our first prize away pretty soon here. So I would like to have more of a precedent. That way, maybe we might encourage folks to show up a tad bit earlier and not just for the prizes later on. And actually, you know what? That being said, I'm going to do you guys a solid. I'm going to give the first prize away right now while we have just a handful of people. That way, you guys have really awesome odds at winning. And this will also help, again, set that precedent that we're giving prizes away at a random time, thus helping people tune in a little bit earlier. So prize number one is going to be any CHOQ products. So basically, just pick one of any CHOQ products. And hello, Tayyiba. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Really cool name, by the way. Love that. Tayyiba. That's awesome. Very unique, awesome name. So, no, Mr. R, we're not doing trivia, and we probably never will, to be frank, because again, want to make sure everyone has equal opportunity here to win. But yeah, let's give away our first prize right now. Let's do it. Let's just get her done. So everybody give me in the chat one entry only and give me a number between 1 and 100. So any number between 1 and 100, just one entry, put it in the chat as soon as you can. And whoever's closest to the number that's randomly generated over here, again, the universe is determining really who's winning because this is a random number generator based on some sort of quantum process that I probably can't really articulate fully because I'm not a physicist. But yeah, let's see who wins today. Giving away prize number 1 super duper early. All right, everybody in? What do we got here? I'm just going to give you 1 or 2 more seconds. And remember, only one entry. Oh, I see as one I did the same one. But yeah, only one entry here. And I'm going to start typing done. So as soon as I type done, then it's cut off pretty much. That way we don't have to wait for a super long time. So if you see done in there, that means that the window has closed. No more entries. So, all right, the number is 42. Who is closest to 42? We have Danny B with 45. That's 3 away. Mohammed, you almost got it with 4 away. So Danny B, congratulations. You are the winner. Danny B, I'm not sure if you have won before, but I think you might have been on the show enough times to know what to do. But in case you don't, email CHOQ@CHOQ.com and just pick any product and tell them, the excellent customer service folks, which one you would like. That does include obviously any product. You could go with perhaps some of our organic max potency clinically studied ashwagandha. You could go with good old-fashioned men's daily with 500 milligrams of shilajit, as well as some excellent Ayurvedic herbs in this guy right here. We've got Action 2.0, of course, which is one of my favorites. I took 6 of these babies today, and it got me going really well with the wild-crafted rhodiola in there, and then also the nitric oxide boosters, such as the S7 blend, and also the organic amla extract called Capros. CHOQ Armor, of course, one of my favorites as well. Really underrated supplement. Works great as a post-workout, but also excellent for histamine response and, of course, immune system. So whichever one you would like. Of course, you can pick a T-shirt. You can do cacao beans, whatever you'd like to do. Just one of anything. So, yeah. And, yeah, just so y'all know, if you're just tuning in right now, we're going to start giving away products at more random times. They're not going to be all at the end of the show anymore. Yes. I'm going back to the questions here. Gus asks, what CHOQ would you recommend for females with a sensitive stomach? Well, Gus, to answer your question, anyone, male or female with a sensitive stomach, I would just recommend in general they take all CHOQ products with a little bit of food. You know, it doesn't have to be a full meal, but a snack. You know, maybe an apple and a handful of nuts or something like that, protein bar, whatever. But in general for women, great women's products. One of my favorite products for women is actually ashwagandha. Typically on average anyway, not speaking in terms of blanket statements, but on average, women's nervous systems are more sensitive to stress hormones significantly than men's. Again, not saying this is true in all cases, but on average, that is absolutely the case. And ashwagandha, really, really fantastic for regulating cortisol, one of the best herbal adaptogens out there for supporting healthy cortisol levels. So ashwagandha is fantastic for women. Women love shilajit because shilajit is absolutely amazing when it comes to not just supporting things like healthy energy levels, healthy hormones, but also we have data showing that this can enhance the body's production of collagen. Right. And of course, you don't just need collagen for beauty and for skin. It's great for that. But you need collagen for healthy bone formation as well. So that's a real big deal. So those would be a couple of them. But certainly women can take any CHOQ product, with the exception of we don't recommend CHOQ Men's Daily. That is a men's product, to answer your question. So, all right. Levi says, what up? Perfect timing while my Action 2.0 digests before the gym. Nice. Cool. Glad you like the Action pre-workout. It is a great pre-workout. Absolutely. Of course, you don't have to use it pre-workout. You can use it for mental energy as well, right? So it's not just action. Action is not just about physical energy. It's also about focus and mood and mental energy. The rhodiola in there makes it especially good for that. Let's see here. Shadow says Armor is great. Nice. Shadow, I'm curious if you could post in the chat, what kind of results do you get from Armor? What has it done for you? I'm curious. Gus says, I have Shilajit and Tomcat 100. Both are fantastic. Awesome. That's awesome. Yes, I'm a big fan of those guys. Hunter, to answer your question about Apex, which of course is my baby. I love this product. Spent a lot of time formulating it. Apex is going to be available in about a couple months. Yeah. Levi asks, difference between SENSIL and KSM66. Yes, we do like SENSIL better, actually. They both apparently have extensive amounts of clinical research behind them. SENSIL has about 15 clinical studies. I think KSM might have a few more than that, but they're both very, very well researched. SENSIL has been around for longer, and the people who produce SENSIL, that company, are very, very serious about herbs. The folks who produce the KSM, as far as we can tell, are a little bit late in the game. They don't have the same background in hardcore research in Ayurvedic herbs. They're a little bit more recent of a company, but they do have a lot of money. Certainly KSM66 seems to be a good product. SENSIL also does, just on a factual level though, very literal level, SENSIL is not just ashwagandha root. It also contains the leaf. It's a bit more efficient because you have a lot of the compounds, active bioactive compounds in the leaf. So the SENSIL is both root and leaf. SENSIL, the version of SENSIL we use in our ashwagandha is the organic version. And you'll notice a lot of folks out there are not using organic KSM or organic SENSIL. So that's a big differentiating factor as well. Yeah. Danny B says, I took daily action this morning on an empty stomach. Now I know to take it with food next time. Yes, Danny, I will tell you, we know from experience, from feedback from our customers, that action tends to be a little bit rough on the stomach for some folks. So if you have a sensitive stomach, or even if not, you might want to take action specifically with some food. I personally, of course, I've been in this game for a while. I personally have a sensitive stomach, and I don't need to take action with food. I'm fine, but I'm also used to taking 15 pills without food and it not being a problem for me most of the time. So I'm kind of hardcore because I've been in the supplements game and the herb game for a while. Let's see here. Cool. Sam says, I take daily and Tomcat fasted. Feel fine with them. Nice. All right, Shadow. Armor makes your breathing clearer, and you are a medicinal cannabis user. Cool. Nice. Well, Shadow, that makes total sense. Lung health is one of the things that Armor is designed to do. The quercetin here is this guy right here. It's the one called Quercifit, this top ingredient. This guy is quercetin blended with sunflower lecithin to give it 20 times the normal absorption. And it is really, really excellent when it comes to supporting healthy immune function, respiratory function, things like that. And very, very powerful when it comes to supporting healthy histamine levels, which that right there, of course, can also affect your healthy lung function. So, Gus, we will probably not do CBD. We think the market's flooded, but you never know. That could change. There's no plans in the works. I think CBD is great, but I think it's also a little bit, the market's just flooded, and it's like everybody and their grandma has a CBD company now. So, as one of them wants to know what my favorite chocolate is, just dark chocolate in general. Obviously I don't do any dairy. I'm dairy free. So I can't do milk chocolate even if I wanted to, although I have had some like coconut milk chocolate that's really great, but I typically like actually dark chocolate with almonds and sea salt is probably my number one favorite kind of chocolate. Yeah. And as far as how I eat the CHOQ cacao beans, I actually just pop them in my mouth and then throw a little bit of honey in there, or a date. So just like a date and a bunch of cacao beans, just chew them up together. It's really good. All right, let's see here. So Levi, to answer your question about Apex, you could certainly take it in the morning. You don't have to, but because, so by the way, one of the changes I made to Apex glutathione is I put additional vitamin B6 in there. Vitamin B6 does help your body produce glutathione, right? And I don't know if you guys know, but B6 is a really big deal. You need it for glutathione production. So your body requires it to create glutathione. But on top of that, it does a bunch of other things for you. You need it to synthesize various different critical neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and also GABA, your brain's calming inhibitory neurotransmitter. So, I do like to take B6 a little bit earlier in the day. You can take it anytime, but to get that extra mood boost from it. But certainly you can take it anytime you want. Yeah. So I guess it's time right now to do our daily reading from the non-tinfoil guide to EMF. Gonna keep plugging this guy's book because I think it's awesome. And I'll go ahead and give you guys let me give you a little link if you want to get it. Obviously, we all know Amazon is sometimes a little bit evil, but I won't give you the Amazon link actually because it's too long to put in the chat anyway. I'll just give you the name. Get it from wherever you feel good about. I do, of course, I use Amazon, frankly. But I also use Kindle, and so I kind of have to, right? I've got my Kindle app here on my iPad. So, continuing to read from the non-tinfoil guide to EMFs, and so for you guys who are into this kind of stuff, and I know a lot of you guys are. All right. The author says that EMFs screw up something called VGCCs. What is that? VGCC. I'm going to type in what it means. I'm guessing probably nobody has heard of this. Voltage. Let's just get into some real nerdy stuff for a second here. Voltage gated calcium channels. Calcium channels. Yes. All right. So little doors that let calcium in and out of your cells. So you guys, I'm sure everybody knows the term electrolyte, but what the heck does that actually mean? What is an electrolyte, right? Calcium is an electrolyte. So is sodium, or magnesium. Electrolyte is basically a compound, a mineral that helps your body regulate electrical signals, right? So, and remember, anytime we're talking about electricity, we're also, from a physics standpoint, talking about magnetism, right? Electromagnetism. Electricity, magnetism, they very much influence each other, right? And so EMFs, electromagnetism, this is all related. So, all right. Science is all about acronyms. VGCC stands for voltage-gated calcium channels, little doors that let calcium in and out of our cells and that happen to be powered with, you guessed it, very low levels of electricity. In the last years, Martin Hall, PhD from the Washington State University, has extensively studied this mechanism and published dozens of papers on the subject, including a key study on VGCCs. It's been recognized by one of the top medical publications, blah, blah, blah. As he explains in a lengthy presentation, very low levels of EMFs, such as the kind we get from cell phones and from this guy right here that's probably too close to my head right now, very low levels of EMFs of different types can keep your cells, voltage-gated calcium channels, can keep these opened for hours after exposure, which then floods your body with extra calcium, floods the cells with extra calcium. Interesting. So to understand what this excess calcium can do in your body, he says, I'll leave you with this super easy to understand graphic, obviously being extremely sarcastic. So yeah, there we go. Super easy, right? No big deal. Yeah, it makes total sense. What I'll tell you though is, long story short, these are a bunch of different really important compounds that regulate your immune system, and also that regulate blood flow, and that regulate even things like pain and mitochondrial energy production, right? So these changes in calcium metabolism brought on by cell phone radiation, Wi-Fi from your router, Elon Musk's satellites, all this stuff, right, can do this. So, kind of not great. Apparently, there's even some indications that these changes in calcium metabolism can affect, mood, bone formation, heart function, Nitric oxide is one of them as well. They can change nitric oxide levels. And again, remember, nitric oxide is absolutely important for two things: blood flow and immune system. So Action 2.0, for example, excellent when it comes to nitric oxide support, right? And that's one of the reasons it works great as a pre-workout, right? But also helps you focus, because nitric oxide, you need to get blood to your brain, right? So you want your blood vessels to have a healthy diameter so blood flow can get to your brain. Shilajit can also be helpful for nitric oxide as well. But the reason that Action 2.0 and anything that boosts nitric oxide is not just about blood flow is because nitric oxide has profound effects on healthy immune function. So, yes. So again, remember some of these compounds, the ones called enos and nitric oxide, that's all about, blood flow, immune system. All those ones that are on the right-hand side, interleukin-1 beta, interleukin-6, TNF alpha, interferon gamma, those all have to do with regulating the immune system. Yeah. So, yeah, EMFs can alter all this stuff. They can also have effects on sleep. They can have effects on neurological development in fetuses, all sorts of stuff. And here's another one. They open your body's barriers up to toxic invaders, such as mercury, organochlorines, and other pollutants. So the most important effect from EMFs, here's a quote here, is the opening of the blood-brain barrier. So they could negatively affect the blood-brain barrier. This allows mercury, organochlorines, and other pollutants to enter the brain, where they cause various issues. This is from a physician. So yeah, here we go. Here is a little bit of science here. Frey was interested in whether, the researcher was interested in whether EMFs would impair the blood-brain barrier. He studied two sets of rats. One set he exposed to a 1.9 gigahertz radiation, which is comparable to cell phone radiation, for 2 hours, and a second set received no radiation. Then he injected a fluorescent dye into their circulatory system, and he watched the way that it spread in the different cells. He noticed that in the rats, and he was able to then see where the dye went, right? And just so you all know, the blood-brain barrier is basically what makes sure that whatever's in your blood does not get into your brain unless your brain wants it in there. Your brain is so sensitive, it has to have this blood-brain barrier, just to be abbreviated BBB. It has to have this blood-brain barrier so that your brain, because again, the tissues in your brain are so darn sensitive, you don't want random stuff getting in there. Your brain has to be very careful. So it has this barrier, right? So what happened? Again, he had two groups of rats. One of them he gave EMFs for 2 hours, similar to a cell phone. One of them he didn't. He injected a fluorescent dye into their bloodstream, and he saw how much of that dye came into the brain, even though it wasn't supposed to. Within a matter of minutes, the dye had leached into the brain of the rats who were exposed from EMFs. And here's a rather graphic picture here. Here we go. Right. So again, you can see the dye. If the blood-brain barrier was functioning correctly, the dye never should have made its way into the rat brain. And unfortunately, it did in the rats who were exposed to EMFs in similar frequency to a cellular phone. So there you have it, folks. Crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah. So we might need a little palate cleanser after that. Let's talk about something fun. It's kind of a bummer, right? Yeah. So I can't talk about the bovid vaxxas. You say that's not something I'm going to talk about. And yes, Gus, it's important. Nitric oxide and nitrous oxide are very, very different. Nitric oxide, and I'll just help you guys in case you're confused. Nitric oxide is NO, just on a chemistry level, and nitrous oxide is similar, N2O. So nitric oxide is one nitrogen atom and one oxygen atom. Nitrous oxide is two nitrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. And as far as what they do in your body, radically different. Nitrous oxide, we all know, is a drug used by dentists and, for surgery, right? And, by some recreationally, obviously. In fact, William James, psychologist, wrote about it. Nitrous oxide, makes you, out there, puts you into a totally different state of consciousness and is a painkiller. Nitric oxide, NO, is a neurotransmitter, a gas-based neurotransmitter that your body actually manufactures that is very important for healthy blood flow and healthy immune function. So very, very different. But yeah, glad you brought that up. Important to, differentiate between those two things. Yeah. Mr. R says, can you talk about Tribulus terrestris? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Tribulus, so its active compounds. Let me just grab my bottle of daily here. Great question. So compounds right here. Let's see. Tribulus terrestris. Okay, so CHOQ daily, men's daily, contains 300 milligrams of a standardized Tribulus terrestris extract, standardized to 45% saponins. Saponin is a category of naturally occurring molecules that you tend to find in a lot of these adaptogens, like similar to like ginseng and things like that. And saponins tend to be helpful for a lot of different things. Tribulus tends to be excellent when it comes to supporting healthy blood flow, energy, sexual function, that sort of a thing. Mixed reviews on whether or not it really actually does support healthy testosterone. Certainly the scientific evidence, as far as I know, is not super strong on that for Tribulus, although certainly it does seem to support healthy fertility. And there's a reason that so many different pre-workouts contain Tribulus. It really is a good, just general booster. Yeah. For things like, healthy, blood flow and things like that, and muscle accumulation. So Lillian, to answer your question about CHOP apex glutathione. So apex glutathione contained N-acetylcysteine, NAC. And because NAC is a direct precursor to glutathione, helps your body manufacture it. And then the FDA unfortunately came around and said that we're not allowed to use NAC anymore. It's not because it's dangerous. It's because they found some weird technicality where they said that it was being used as a drug. There's actually an association, the American Herbal Products Association, that's industry group who's fighting it because they say that the FDA is wrong. But anyway, so we had to take the NAC out, so we're reformulating it. Since we were reformulating it, I decided to actually try to make it better anyway. And I'm adding some other stuff to it, such as organic milk thistle and also high absorption ginkgo. Yeah. And on that note, what do you think we should do now? Do you guys want to win another prize? Are we ready for that, or should we wait? Of course, I know everybody's going to leave as soon as we do that, but except for my hardcore fans. Let's see here. When you recommend taking supplements for hormone testosterone support post-workout? Right now, I'm taking ashwagandha, tonkat, Fedogia. Interesting. Beef testicle. Ooh, yikes. All right. Looks like we have a few people excited for prize drawing number 2. Yeah, we'll do that in just a second here. So, Danny, there are many things. I would say no matter what, I would definitely look at zinc. Zinc is really, really essential. Obviously, zinc is critical for immune function, but you also need it to synthesize, all of your sex hormones. So zinc is critical. So that's one to look into. Absolutely. Post-workout, sorry. If we're going to go with testosterone, I would say definitely take CHOQ Men's Daily and then also Tonkat. Oh, you already mentioned Tonkat, right? CHOQ Men's Daily, though. CHOQ Men's Daily is excellent, especially the Shilajit. Shilajit's critical because Shilajit's not only supporting healthy testosterone synthesis for men and hormones for women, but it also helps with mitochondrial energy production. So that's a really big one. As far as post-workout goes, Armor is great for post-workout. There's an Urban here. Let's see here. Which one is it? It's number 3 called Paractin, Andrographis paniculata. Paractin, really, really great for supporting healthy inflammation response, on par with turmeric for that purpose. A lot of people don't know, but yeah, great for that. power acted. So you can take CHOQ Armor for post-workout. Also, obviously, turmeric is great post-workout. Magnesium is absolutely essential. Levi, no, daily does not contain zinc. But if we do come up with like a deluxe version in the future, I'm sure it will absolutely have zinc in it. Yeah. Yeah, what else? So yeah, turmeric, a really good turmeric. I'd like to do a CHOQ turmeric at some point too. Yeah, those are some important ones. If you're gonna do magnesium, I might look into magnesium taurate. That one is my favorite actually, magnesium taurate. There are other good ones out there as well, but the taurate is one of the best in terms of bioavailability. Taurine is also helpful for other reasons. Helps with blood flow, helps with cardiovascular function. And so yeah, that's one of the best magnesiums out there. Okay, that being said, yeah, let's do it. Who wants to win prize number 2? Go ahead and get her done, as we say in Texas. Give me your numbers. And let's pull up this annoying drum roll sound effect. How about that? All right. Okay, I'm going to call it. Done. All right. Entries are now closed. All right, so who thinks they won? The number we have is 81. Who is closest to 81? Raffatal. I believe it's Raffatal right here. Yeah. Wow, Raffatal, congratulations. Right, let me just make sure. 81, so hold on, wait. Do we have a high 70? 72, 81. Is Raffatal 6 away? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Janny, my bad. Janny. Janny, you are the winner. Sorry, I didn't quite see that. Yeah, all right. I'm glad I continue to check. Janny, you are the winner. So congratulations. Email CHOQ@CHOQ.com. Prize number 2, by the way, is a CHOQ t-shirt and also some heirloom cacao beans. So that's your prize for today. 1 bag of beans and a shirt. We do have 2 different colors and also long and short sleeve. And these are super nice, super comfortable, organic cotton made in the United States. So these are not super cheap t-shirts. These are more premium shirts. Really nice to wear to bed, actually. They're super comfortable. I like the little bit larger size just because it's like just nice to wear around the house. But of course, we want you to wear it out in public, right? Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to head out, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I will schedule the next one in just a second. So always come back to our YouTube channel if you want to see what the next one is. Make sure, if you can, to please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And just know also that we will be giving prizes out, more at more random times in the future. At least the first prize I might do earlier, might do later, just to kind of try to get folks to show up a little bit earlier if possible. But always happy to answer any of your questions. So come up with some good questions for next time, and I will see you guys soon. Much love, and stay human.